Hey guys, today I'll show you how to use the UEVR injector mod from Praydog to run a particular game. You can run any Unreal Engine 4 or 5 game, but this particular video I'll showcase Borderlands 3 with a 6 degree of freedom profile. Now, Borderlands 3, I picked it up on sale for $8 during the spring sale. I really enjoyed Borderlands 2 in VR, so I thought, you know what, let's see how 3 is. And I'll tell you what, the modders did a fantastic job with the profile because it is almost like a true VR game. Now, that is not the first UEVR game I've ever played using the 6 degree of freedom. The very first one I ever played was the Outer Worlds. So if you guys have not tried that yet with the profile, 6 degree of freedom profile, very good. Very well done. A couple of the other ones I tried were the Jedi Fallen Order, Spyro, Desolate, which is another very good one. But in this particular video, we'll showcase the Borderlands 3. All right. Another thing I should point out, I run the UEVR in OpenXR. 95% of them I use OpenXR because I run the OpenXR toolkit. Now, the toolkit creates foveated rendering, where the outside of the image is blurred and the inside of the image where your eyes are focused on is clear. For the most part, I can't tell it's running unless I really try to look for it in the edges. And I get much better performance frames per seconds wise using the OpenXR toolkit. All right, let's get into it a little bit here and I'll show you what it would look like. Oh, first thing I should also do is where you find these profiles is under the Discord channel for flat to VR modding, under the Unreal Engine VR games channel for Borderlands 3. And you can see I'm already in there. UEVR games, Borderlands 3. Under the pinned messages, these are where the profiles are. Here's the aimed Corsair mod. Works both with head aiming, and 6 degree of freedom. I don't like the head aiming. I prefer aiming with the gun or the controllers themselves. Also, the correct mod to use in this circumstance for this video, I use Tim Burton's 6 degree of freedom profile, which is just wonderful. I mean, I'm not using any other mods except this one right here, the Borderlands 3 6 degree of freedom profile from Tim Burton. So, just to give a shout out to him for doing a fantastic job creating this profile. All right, so we'll get back out of that. Let's start. Oops, wrong one there. We'll give it a shot here under Borderlands 3. All right, and they also said to inject it. The instructions said to inject the mod during the Claptrap's dance across the bottom of the screen. That's the best time to do the injection. You don't want to do it too late. If you do it too late, it doesn't doesn't show up properly. Let's bring up the mod. There we go. There he is. He's down at the bottom dancing around. And we want Borderlands 3 selected. And we will inject. So far, so good. There we go. And once this loads up here, I'll give you another example of some of the things you should turn off in the settings. By the way, I'm using an i7 8700K with a 2780 Super with 16 gigs of RAM, 3200 core RAM. So nothing too extreme for my system, but enough that the games all work. Every game I've played so far worked perfectly with the 2080 Super. I do want to upgrade at some point, but right now everything's playing just fine, so we'll leave it at that. But for now, I just want to show you something under the Visuals tab to make sure that you have the anti-aliasing turned off, because you can adjust any UEVR settings for the temporal upscale, anti-aliasing upscale. You can do them over here in this particular menu. So just keep that in mind. You don't really need to have the anti-aliasing on because it does affect performance. And with some of the temporal upscales in the UEVR, the smoothing and the upscaling, it pretty much cleans up the image where it's very nice looking. All right, so let's get back out of this. We'll go into the game here, continue. As you can see, I've been playing this for roughly 20 hours. So I'm pretty far into it. I just got it 2 weeks ago, and I've already racked up 20 hours. I'm sure my wife loves that, but again, that's another topic.
Let's hunt.
So as you can see, here they are. I'm moving the controller, and the gun is moving with the controller. And the graphics on the guns are just amazing. They have these little trinkets that are hanging from the gun, but they look just fabulous, And the aiming is like spot on. And again, I'm using controller aiming, not the head aiming. I will also show you the vehicles. So let's get into the vehicle here. This particular vehicle, I'm stationed behind the cannon, which is a pretty good spot, as you can see. Don't really have obstructed views, all right, but not all of the vehicles respond in this order, all right, or in this fashion, I should say. Let me show you here. Get out of here. All right, back up here. Go back up to the gas station. I'll select a different vehicle. Oh, another thing I should point out is to bring up the menus. So if you using the Oculus controller, the menu button on the left controller. Yes, I said Oculus. I prefer that name. Much better than Meta. But hey, that's another topic too. So we'll stay away from that. But on the menu button, you quick press it. It pauses the game. Here you can change your options, achievements, and quit the game, obviously. Now, if you long press the menu button and release it, then it brings up the actual menus for the game where you do your weapon select, the log, your mission selects, your skill point adjustments, your inventory management, and another thing I should point out: the map is in split screen. They know it. It doesn't really bother anybody. It doesn't bother me. It took a little bit to get used to, but I'm used to it now. And you always go by the left side of the screen when you want to hover over something to get a description of what it is. Because if you try to do it on the right side, you see the right side doesn't work. I'm trying to collect on the fast travel station, but it's actually the left side that you worry about, all right? But for this particular scenario... Oh, I also should point out, some of the navigation is required with the directional pad. Now, how you do that is with the right controller thumb rest. You rest your thumb on that thumb rest, and then with the left controller directional pad, there you go. Now, with your thumb rested there and using the directional pad, or the joystick, I should say, on the left controller, it acts as the directional pad. Now, the only time I've ever needed... Oh, you do need it outside for some of the guns. Let me see if any of these guns have it. No, none of these guns do have it. All right, so let me... I think there's a gun here. There we go. There's switch between radiation and corrosive. All right, so let's find that gun. There he is. Okay. Another very detailed gun. Now you can see down at the bottom for the gun, it says radiation. Now if I rest my thumb pad, my right thumb on the thumb pad and use the, or thumb rest, I should say, thumb rest, and use the down, there you go. I just switched to corrosive or radiation. See? And it also, to navigate your different missions, thumb rest, left or right on the joystick. All right. So I figured I would just point those out for you. All right. So let's come over here now. Let's use this. Let's select a different vehicle. All right. And then we'll deploy the vehicle. Okay. Now you see this particular vehicle. I'm stuck inside behind, and the view of the outside is poor. All right. So what I did was I went to the camera settings in the UEVR settings, and for camera 3 offset, I raised myself up to whatever is a comfortable view for you. In this case, we'll use the E1. All right. So then I saved that camera setting. This would be camera 0, camera 1, camera 2. Camera 2 is the height control, up or down. All right. So we'll save that setting. All right. And we'll drive a little bit here. As you can see, it's better. Much better than what it was, you know, as far as being able to navigate around, all right? Now, if I get out of the car, you can see my height is way off. My gun's way down there, all right? So you bring the camera back up. Now I'll load camera 0, which will be, I'm back in line with my gun, you see? All right? So I save a camera setting for the car, and I have a camera setting for the gun. Or out of the car, I should say. All right. So, I mean, it's a little bit annoying, but I heard that they are working on a way to equip the cars where you don't have to adjust the camera all the time. But for now, that's the only option I've really found.
Let the hunt take you.
So, that being said, here's the 6 degree of freedom profile. Borderlands 3, just awesome, just awesome. You know, I think it's better than the Borderlands 2. You know, it's much more stable. You have full control over the gun. And again, another great shout out to Tim Burton for this mod, for the 6 degree of freedom mod. For that being said, let me quit this here, see if there's anything else I forgot to point out. That being said, thank you guys for watching. You know, let me know anything else I could point out or help you with in the comments. I try to reply to everybody that comments right away. Sometimes it might take me a little bit, but for the most part, I do reply to everyone. And until next time, happy gaming.